you know, it reminds me of like Regina George and Mean Girls, where he's like, you know, it's like whatever. It's like Katie is or Regina George is a fugly bitch. I can't believe she blah blah. That was Drake's version of writing in the Burn Book.
Drake put his Burn Book on IG.
Yeah, he's like fucking motherfucking Joe Budden is like, how can you say this blah blah blah? It's like, you know, I own a 747. You don't even know how much it costs to own a plane. You know, like that's what it is for Drake. So. All right, welcome back, people. This is Soundbites, a part of the Album Mode podcast where we're talking about the music, the culture, and the internet, and how those three things intertwine to create the music culture that we have today. This is DeMar Grant, aka the King Grant, aka the Bunny, and I'm here with my esteemed co-host, co-creator, Adriel Smiley, aka AdrielSmiley.com, aka the Godfather.
Yep. We
are back. This time, Doja Cat. Doja Cat.
Girl.
No, don't even start it. Don't even start that. Doja Cat, not my girl. You know what's crazy is that, remember when we did the Doja Cat review, I said, I have the vinyl. Don't embarrass me. You remember when I said that?
Yeah.
And now I'm at the point where I must disown you. Okay. Doja Cat was posting on Instagram this picture of her, of a shirt, her in a car, wearing this shirt of this dude named Sam Hyde, who is, let's say, effectively a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, he is.
Right? And it was just like kind of like a nonchalant, for her, nonchalant type of photo. She was just like, this is just a selfie me inside of the car. And then she got flamed. For it was briefly up, very, very briefly.
Yeah.
Then she took it down.
Yeah.
And then she did another photo with, it was more cropped up to the chest, right? To the shoulder, right? And the caption was like the eye rolling emoji, as if like, is a game? This is a game to you? It seemed, so that's what happened. Is it a game? What do we think about Doja Cat and Sam Hyde? Why is this a thing, please?
It is a game. Doja Cat is in Kanye territory.
Yes, she is.
Someone brought this up to me during the week, and I had two things to say. One, Doja's not doing this if she's not famous. Right. Doja is in Kanye territory, and every time you guys get upset and, you know, cause a scene, it may be annoying in the moment, but it's just feeding the monster that is Doja Cat. We just heard the album. Everything is right there. Two, it's this part, 1005 of people care more about white people than black people. Doja Cat has said many unfavorable things about black people. We know her history with race play.
Didn't Do Nothing, the song that she did.
Yep. But she's still here. That wasn't enough to cancel her. It wasn't enough for her to be crazy. That's fine. Something to do with white people, it's the end of the world. So that's all I got from it is like, to me, I've canceled Doja as like, even, I don't consider Doja a black artist. I don't consider her to speak on blackness from when she was, clearly involved in these things that are against black people. Yeah. So it's like, that wasn't enough for everyone to get upset. Now everyone's upset. She's been clear this is who she is. Yeah. This is not a new, she was so sweet before. No. Who is it? That's not what this is. You know?
She was in chat rooms showing feet, bro.
Yeah. A black woman speaking unfavorably about black people to white people. Yeah. That's enough to get you canceled in my book. Yeah. So the fact that we're here and it's like, this is the one, and the person who brought this up to me was black, and they were like, oh my gosh, she's crazy. And I said, this is the issue. She was crazy 8 years ago when she did that. Yeah. But now, and so that's I don't have much to say more than that, because I think this is clearly a stunt. This is also who Doja is. We see the people she dates, things she posts. This is not a secret. So to me, it's kind of like, why is the outrage still there? And I'm sure even Doja's confused. It's like, y'all are still mad. I've been told y'all who I am. Right. So it's kind of like us as a society, a community, like the people, the Dojas, the Kanyes. Do we know how to ignore them? Can we just stop? Because if this was someone who if this was Kendrick, get outraged. Yeah. Be pissed. This is Doja Cat, fam. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that she has been trying to distance herself. I think Doja Cat, I'm trying to put this as properly. I think Doja Cat uses her blackness to say the N-word in her music, but beyond that, she does not associate herself as a black person.
Saying.
I don't think that Doja Cat is it like an avatar for blackness at all in any sort of way. No. I don't think that she is trying to like anything like that. Like I don't think I feel as though she. Also, the craziest thing about this is that her mom is an Ashkenazi Jewish.
Yeah.
And her dad is South African.
Yeah.
So she's already in this crazy sphere of race and religion and like the interplay that those two, like having two parents like that just like puts you in this crazy space.
Yeah.
And she is, I would say her relation to race, religion, and any sort of like social ideology is bizarre.
It's warped, yeah.
Yeah, like I would say it's very bizarre and it's very warped. And I think that she, other than the fact that one of her parents are black, I don't think she associates with blackness, doesn't think she, I don't even think, I'm at the point now where I'm like, I don't even think she thinks she's black.
This is my point. I felt like this 6-7 years ago, and I'm like, that's black people. Why is that not enough to cancel someone?
Right.
You know, and mad black people, including herself, were fans, bought her music after she showed those things. So that's my thing is like, this is, you know, example number whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's like, as black people, we didn't cancel her for that. She don't represent us. She clearly don't represent us. And we said, go platinum. Who cares?
Yeah.
Now she's doing something against Jewish people. People like you, people like my friend, mad black people's ready to speak out and call her all kinds of names. And I said, this is, to me, that's the big issue here is like, we're not defending our own, but we're so quick to defend others. You know, and when one of, quote unquote, our own speaks up against our own, that should be soundbite worthy where we're like, yo, she's out of here.
Yeah.
So I think long story short, I don't think she's done for. I think she's still going to sell out.
Me too.
I think she's still going to be fine.
Me too.
I think all this outrage is fake. That's my personal thing. I think this outrage is fake because this is who she's been.
Yeah.
She hasn't. It's like Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez wasn't showing us he's some upstanding citizen. How could he ever shoot a woman?
I agree.
You know, she hasn't been this model citizen where we're like, this is crazy. I could not believe she did this. I could believe it. This is exactly who she showed us every single day. And so it's like, we don't actually care who she is and actually as a person and like what she's shown us. We're waiting for the moment to say, this is bad.
Yeah.
You know, when it's like, she probably doing bad shit every day. We just don't see it on the internet.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want Doja to be like a lesson, at least for us, is like, if you like her music, like it, and don't get outraged, time to get outraged. Because either you're going to not listen to the music, or you're going to listen to the music. If we listen to the music, then let's just cut the outrage out. Because she's still going to sell out. When Doja comes back around, we're going to do a tally how many of our friends are at the Doja Cat concert. And I think we're going to be in double digits. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Truly. So it's like,
we'll do that.
What's the outrage for? You know, what's the outrage for?
Right.
So
okay. We're officially watching you. Doja Cat fans or ex-Doja Cat fans, we're watching you.
I don't care if you like Doja Cat. Some of her music is cool. If you like her,
yeah.
I don't think that you hate Jewish people if you like Doja Cat's music.
Right. Well, we'll let that. I'm just gonna leave that there. Okay.
DeMar thinks you do hate Doja Cat. That's what that was. If you like Doja Cat's music, DeMar thinks you hate Jewish people.
I don't think so.
I don't think you hate Jewish people.
I don't think that's the case. But I think that you're making your I would say compromising your views if you're like a major Doja Cat fan after what just happened. I would say.
Interesting.
I would say that you're.
I think you got to include a lot of people in that because again, you go back to 6-7 years ago. Yeah. I'm sure you know black women who are huge Doja Cat fans. Yeah. So it's like it's not even after this is like Doja Cat fan at all.
Yeah.
You know, that's where we're at. Let's talk about someone else who's equally problematic.
Joe Budden.
He had some things to say about Drake on his podcast. He said Drake's like, stop fucking with 25-year-olds.
Yeah.
I want to hear the mature Drake.
Yeah.
Drake clapped back with a long caption. Now, anyone follows me on Instagram, I'm not the long caption guy. You're not catching me doing no long captions. Mind you, even a long text in a private conversation,
right?
That's not me. If it's really that deep, call me. I'll send a voice note. So Drake spent all this time writing out this long text, this long message for Joe Budden, saying all he had to say. My understanding is this comes from some personal beef they have, and that Joe Budden had some personal jabs in that little rant that, you know, only Drake or people around them would be aware of.
Yeah.
But this is part however much of Drake responding to the media. And I think that is the main thing of this is like, when is Drake going to stop responding to the media? Because he's above this.
Yeah, I think that Drake has this, him and Joe Budden have like serious beef. Like Drake doesn't really respond to people multiple times. This is now multiple times.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, obviously hit a nerve because Drake, I was talking to somebody and they were like, isn't it crazy how Drake did a show, then the morning after he wakes up, types out this whole tirade to Joe Budden and then goes to perform a show literally the same day. So you know that he got heated.
He did.
That he saw that, respond day of. And then is like, oh, you know what? It's like, and then goes does a show and J. Cole is on stage with him, right? So you know he's pissed off.
Yeah.
Right? It's not some sort of calculated response or anything. Like that was like he actually got so upset that he must type that out.
I think he had that in the chamber.
I don't know if he had that in the chamber. Yeah, he's in the brain. He had that in the chamber, but
maybe not all written out, but all that in his brain for sure. Because I don't think anyone remembers him and Joe kind of fake made up.
Yeah.
I think it was last summer, a couple summers ago, because you know they have history. They go way back.
Yes, they do.
Joe, one of the early supporters of Drake, but apparently Drake asked Joe for a verse. Joe kind of dubbed him. He's on the come up. That looks pretty crazy now, obviously. But I think that after, like a couple years after that, they did have their falling out of like they didn't rock with each other. If anyone remembers that, when that happened, that was like a huge deal. And I think that their, you know, consoling that was pretty fake.
Yeah.
And I think Drake has just held this in of like, I don't rock with him. I don't like him.
Right.
And so I think he just, you know, had this ready. Maybe not the exact words, but he was like, next time Joe say something, I'm coming for it.
Right.
I think that's what this was.
Yeah. And I think for Drake, I mean, I would agree. Joe Budden is right. But Drake, just like he needs to get over it, bro. Like you need to just know who you are and be comfortable with the person that you are as a person. Okay. I think that Drake is, we said this on the review pod where it's like, he's stuck in a holding pattern.
Yeah.
Right. His life has changed a lot, but he has not been able to translate that into his music. And so what Joe Budden is saying about like, there needs to be an evolved version of you, a mature version of you. He's right in the sense that your music sounds the same.
Yeah.
It sounds the same as it did 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You didn't change the production. You haven't changed the lyrics. So he's right. And there needs to be some sort of evolution. I agree with Joe Budden.
Listen,
guys, I agree with Joe Budden. And that's a rare stance.
Listen,
okay.
I'll say this. They're both right. They're both right. And if you look at Drake's caption and some of the stuff he's saying, there's not honestly a lot of lies in that caption. And so it's like they're both right. We said it on the pod, Drake does need to change, but Joe has never been where Drake has been, you know.
That's
and
true.
so to take advice from Joe, I can see how Drake would be offended.
Yeah, he's like, wait, what the fuck? How the hell is Joe Budden gonna tell me what to do? He said it in the caption. He's like, I own a 767, and this guy flies first class every once in a while.
That's a crazy part. That's a crazy part.
So I don't. It's kind of hard for me to take any sort of advice that's coming from him. So I agree. I agree with Joe Budden.
Last thing.
And I agree with Drake.
Do you think that Joe will respond?
For the content, he will. For the content. He'll respond for content, but I don't think Drake is coming back for anything.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think he got his thing off. He did that. You know, it reminds me of like Regina George and Mean Girls, where he's like, you know, it's like whatever. It's like Katie is or Regina George is a fugly bitch. I can't believe she blah blah. That was Drake's version of writing in the Burn Book.
Drake put his Burn Book on IG.
Yeah, he's like fucking motherfucking Joe Budden is like, how can you say this blah blah blah? It's like, you know, I own a 747. You don't even know how much it costs to own a plane. You know, like that's what it is for Drake. So I don't think there's gonna be a Drake response. Joe Budden will probably do it for content, and then it was all blow over, and then Drake is gonna, you know, tweet about Adonis or something like that. So thank you everybody for tuning into my favorite. I don't know if it's my favorite part, but it's definitely equivalent. The sound bites, part of album mode where we're talking about music, culture, all those things that intertwine to create the music culture we have today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This is a shorter one, trying to be concise. And you make sure you follow us at Album Mode on Instagram, at Album Mode Pod on Instagram, at Album Mode Pod on TikTok, at Album Mode Pod on Twitter. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Rate us on your podcast platforms, whether or not it's iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. 5 stars, not a single star less. And Adriel, make sure you know your worth. Wait, know yourself, and then know your worth.
Later days.